Logo design and print materials that carry your branding throughout all avenues. Business cards, brochures, flyers, and more. Whether you need a new logo or a simple refresh, Urban Toad Media would love to work with you. Visit our website at urbantoadmedia.com.
And welcome to Weather and Ag in Focus. I want to thank everybody for joining us on this beautiful, beautiful early summer afternoon. A windy one, but plenty of sunshine, a few clouds trying to develop out to our west, but temperatures in the low to mid 80s across the entire area. A beautiful start to the Memorial Day weekend. And along with me is our wonderful and talented Ag Director, Bridgette Readel. You look cute in a hat, Bridgette. That looks awesome on you. I don't think I've seen you in a hat before.
This is the universal sign for I was in the garden and holy crap, is it windy out there already today. Wow.
Awesome. And also meteorologist Justin Storm joining us here. And I don't know about you
guys.
What
about my hat, Dean?
Well, you wear that all the time. You're just covering up a bald spot. No. That's all. I mean. Oh, man, boy, I'll tell you what, it's free-for-all Friday. No chemtrail spray day today. I don't see anything in the sky today, so that means a quiet weekend because, you know, typically after spray day, it's usually a day or two after we get some storms. So
they must have targeted out west this Tuesday.
From the western Dakotas all the way down into western Kansas. Areas, and if you have any travel plans going west, into either central or western part of the Dakotas, all the way down into western Nebraska, western Kansas, all of those areas kind of under a train of storms all weekend long. It's going to be a pretty wet one out to our west, and eventually that is going to slowly creep eastward as we head into Memorial Day. So Memorial Day could be a little stormy towards the valley and into Lakes Country, but until then, it's looking good. Upper 80s to near 90, windy conditions. That's the only bad part. But overall, I think we'll take this over 60s. It could be 60s and raining, which often it is over Memorial Day weekend. So we'll take it.
Right. I think another thing to keep in mind with that is, it's going to be hot. It's going to be dry. I mean, humidity levels will be quite low, and it's going to be really windy, and that all leads to elevated fire conditions and levels across the valley stretching over into Lakes Country. And although a lot of things are greening up, and there are still dry spots out there, so keep that in mind if you're doing any burning or whatnot. Just keep an eye on those fires and make sure they're out before you leave.
And Justin sent me a message here. He said, "Hey, fool, it's in the upper 80s already." So, sorry, it's actually in the upper 80s already. 87 degrees already.
That is beautiful.
I think we'll cry. It says I won't even say what the National Weather Service has on their forecast because they were very nice to dig up that information that I needed the other day.
Yes, so we should not be impolite back to them right now, gentlemen.
Not at all. They'll update their forecast.
Good.
In fact, I think we should update our forecast. I think we're probably going to poke into the lower 90s today. It looked like about 88, but we're already at 87. I think we're going to hit the lower 90s today in parts of the valley, including here in the FM area, which I don't think many people will complain.
That's been a trend over the last handful of days. It's just it's been
over the last week.
So much warmer than what models are indicating, and in my opinion, honestly, what it probably should be for some reason, by a good 5 to 6 degrees. I mean, we're already bumping it up above what the models are saying, and it's hotter than that.
And I think part of it, and I'll double check, but I think part of it might be that the models are trying to forecast in some of the upper level smoke that is up in Alberta, and it just has not filtered down here this weekend. I think they're trying to shave temperatures off. That's the only thing that glares out because the models have been way off. I mean, not even close. So this is where you don't use computer models all the time.
Could it also be, by the way, could it also matter that we have so many fields that are newly planted? And as you can see, that black soil bringing in some more heat, because we do have an awful lot of planting that's taken place this week and is going to continue. Now, the wind is holding us up from some of our pre-emergent herbicide sprays, but no doubt planting conditions are still rolling forward at a fast pace.
And that's good news there. Yeah, but that could be part of it too, Bridgette. Yeah, because especially up and down the valley floor. Now, typically when you get those, usually westerly winds will cause the valley area to warm up quite a bit more than what the models forecast. Occasionally you'll get those southerly winds up and down the valley that blow just right where you could get a little what we call compressional warming. But all in all, yeah, it's going to be a hot weekend. I hope everybody's it's more like a 4th of July weather forecast than it is Memorial Day. So we'll take it. Outside of the wind, it's going to be a nice weekend.
Well, stay hydrated while you're all out there, by the way, and plenty of sunscreen. There's lots of reasons for all of that. I can tell you that yesterday's guest and I, Marcia Van Leer with Gow & Company, we went out and worked on our Here We Grow video. So shout out to her for her help, and also to Michael in our studios who brought our video together. And that posted as of today. So that's our new episode for that video series. Because it was windy, our farmer's sprayer was in his shed. So we got some great props just because they couldn't take them out and use them yesterday. Worked out good.
Yeah, that video turned out really well. Great job.
Good, thanks. Yeah, and Dean, I'm sorry we didn't take you with to play on all the toys and equipment out there, but it was warm in that machine shed.
I would imagine. Yeah, well, I've got my son with me. He's in town, and although he'd love to get up on the tractors, maybe next week, I don't know if he would have had the patience to sit in a hot shed, hot shed.
It was in a shed.
Yeah, I don't think out of his patience, I don't think would have gotten it would have gotten the most of all of us.
Right. Well, find us at Here We Grow with WDAY. You're going to be able to see our videos and the things that we talked about yesterday when it came to getting ready to spray our soybean field, and we think that's probably even going to get planted probably tomorrow. And once it is, we're going to continue to take care of it as far as weed control, making sure we add the proper fungicides and so forth, and off we go to hit Justin's expected bushel yield of 65.
Is he still sticking with that?
We're going as close as we can get to it.
We should make a little side bet here, guys. What will our yield be?
Okay,
come
get the
harvest
official
time.
Post-it notes out so you can write this down.
Okay.
And I think that the three of us need to write our numbers down. Then if we have any listeners who want to send us emails, ag@flagfamily.com or weather@flagfamily.com. We'll keep a little running tab of those. I'll do that to make sure anybody who sends me an email that I know what their number was. Justin's at 65. Dean, what do you think our bushels are going to be on our soybean yield?
Well, I've got a number written down. Hold on. Okay, there we go.
I'm going to show you my number.
Wait, yeah, what would be a normal yield?
40.
We talk average in 40 to 45. Yes.
Okay, I've got 50. I wrote 50. Okay.
Man, we all think we're going to do a great job here.
You know why? Because we've got a
Because we're awesome.
Well, 2 or 3 of us are. Because
and we have a secret weapon, and that's Bridgette right up there.
That's what I was going to say. We've got a great farmer and a great ag director, and when you have those two combined, you can't go wrong.
The precision.
You really can't.
Okay, but hang on. I'm gonna give my number after you two because you bring the LRC to the table. Tell me again. We're looking at like 2 or 3 degrees below average temps, but what are we looking at for rainfall for the summer? Average?
Perfect. Ideal conditions. 65 bushels.
Liar.
I think we're going to be at or just a little bit above average for temperature-wise. I think the majority of the central western part of the state will be below, but I think we'll be pretty close to a little bit above average. And rainfall, what were we forecasting according to the LRC, Justin? At or just maybe a touch above?
At or above average for the valley, but it increases more towards above and well above average as you get closer to Minnesota and Wisconsin. So we're kind of on that line between average and a little above average,
which is fine as long as they're timely rains, right, Bridgette?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we want it. It's got to come at the right time when we need it. So based on all of that information, which helps me in no way, shape, or form, I'm going to make my very uneducated guess and say that my bushel goal for us is going to be 42.
Okay, 42, 50, and 65. Those are the 3 numbers.
Man, we're all over the place.
That's okay. I want to hear what more people want to know.
We have a rain gauge left over.
Okay.
Could we hang on to it till the end of the year when we get our official reading? give it away to whoever got the bushels correct. And if there's multiple people with the same guess, we put their names in a hat.
We should do that. We should have a little contest on our social media, on our Facebook page.
There we go. Well, keep an eye out for it. I'll end up putting that up maybe today. We'll shoot for after the show.
Okay.
Perfect. Let's give that a try.
42, 50, and 65. Well, just
what you don't understand is what I've learned in farming is if you whisper sweet nothing into the ears of the soybean plants, they grow like magic.
Well, good thing we're not planting corn, because that would have been a corny joke.
Yeah.
It's a good thing we don't got 500 acres. It'd be a lot of nothing to whisper.
Soybeans have pods, not ears, just to make sure we're clear on that. Thank you. Okay. So, the other day we were talking with Corby Ward. He was Chief Brand Inspector for North Dakota Stockmen's Association. And it sounds like Oscar has joined us. And Oscar, do you have a quick story about a branding iron that you're going to share with us?
Hello?
Kind of.
Hey, Oscar.
You're sort of choppy there, Oscar.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
We can hear you.
Oh, okay. Well, the other day you were talking about that branding iron, and Dustin didn't know you. And you said you were going to bring us a WDAY, and I want to tell Dustin, if you're going to play with that iron hot, do not wear polyester pants, okay? You've got to wear blue jeans.
Yes, that's a good point, Oscar.
And can't take the heat, and if it does, it just melts and burns. So make sure you don't have polyesters on, okay?
That's
a good weekend. I had to get this back to you there because that was so funny the other day.
Well, thank you. I so appreciate you calling in, Oscar. And
so
I did not get
a
chance.
Good weekend, and I'll
you
be
too.
listening
Thanks.
to you next week.
Thanks, Oscar.
Bye-bye.
Okay.
Thanks, Oscar.
I did not bring the branding iron in with me yesterday, so that's still one of the things I'll have to do is the next time I'm in studio is bring the iron with.
Are we branding Dean?
Too late. It's much too late.
What do you mean too late?
There was this one.
You got branded before?
There was this time in college, and it was late at
No,
night.
stop. No.
I like college stories.
We'll just leave it at that.
We're not encouraging this business, guys. Sorry. Okay. I'm hoping at this point that our guest is getting ready to join us because she actually can give real live branding stories and not about Dean and his college days. Our guest is going to be VB Thomas. VB is with the Thomas Angus. I believe they're Angus Ranch. Oh, better check that. And she is with the ranch down in South Dakota. She is also the 2022 DakotaFest Country Woman of the Year and can't wait to talk to VB when we come back from our break.
They'll have you laughing right along with them. They're Bonnie and Friends.
Who brought this big rock in the studio on their shoe? It's almost as big as a landscaping rock. Look how big that is. Wonder if they felt it, like the pee under the mattress. You know that story?
A pee under the
Do you remember the
mattress?
story?
No.
The kids' book.
No, a pee under the mat. How do you
The
feel?
Princess and the Pea.
Oh, maybe I do. I know the title.
It was a pea under the mattress, and the princess could feel it. So, I wonder if they could feel that pea rock under their foot.
Bonnie and Friends. Catch them weekday mornings beginning at 5.
Now is the perfect time to upgrade your kitchen with new appliances from Regal's. Get up to $2,000 back on select GE Profile appliances now through June 1st, featuring the latest smart home technology, providing a simpler and smarter cooking and cleaning experience. Smart technology meets unbeatable prices, plus free delivery and free recycling of your old appliances. Find out why for over 75 years, Regal's has delivered value. Regal's, 609 Main Avenue, Moorhead.
What do eyewear and weather have in common? Join us for the Aspire Optical Eye on the Sky weekly weather forecast to find out. Each Tuesday morning, Dean Wysocki, Justin Storm, and myself, Ashley Freeborn, owner of Aspire Optical, will bring you the 7-day forecast.
You never know where we'll be or how it will be presented, but we promise to bring you the most accurate forecast this side of the Red River.
And learn how you can save big on eyewear from Aspire Optical.
Watch the Aspire Optical Eye on the Sky weekly weather forecast on our Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter pages.
Trust us, this is weather and eyewear like you've never seen.
Join us on Tuesday at 10:06 a.m. when we bring you the Luther Family Ford Nonprofit of the Week on the Coffee Club. This is one of the most special things we do to honor and showcase our local nonprofits because they are the lifeblood of keeping our communities safe, fed, housed, educated, and more. Join us at 10:06 a.m. every Tuesday when we bring you another Luther Family Ford Nonprofit of the Week on WDAY's The Coffee Club.
Dad, I can't wait to be a builder someday, just like you.
Thanks, son. Yeah, it's rewarding work, but it's also hard, which is why I follow your grandpa's advice and wear quality work boots from Red Wing Shoes.
Hi, Teresa here, store manager at the Fargo Red Wing Shoe Store. For more than 100 years, Red Wing Shoes has been helping companies keep their workers safe and comfortable, even in the most hazardous conditions. Stop in and see for yourself at 3003 Main Avenue in Fargo. Red Wing Shoes for ultimate durability.
Congratulations to the graduation class of 2023. Your life is your story, and the adventure ahead of you is the journey to fulfill your own purpose and potential. Satcham Hyam Seed is proud of your accomplishments and is eager to see you succeed in the years to come. Wherever you go, go with all of your heart. Wishing you the best of luck in your future endeavors from Satcham Hyam Seed and Page, online at satchamhyamseed.com.
Jay, you're a car guy, right?
Oh, yeah.
When your car breaks down, you want a towing company you can trust, right?
Absolutely, Kelsey. I want a local company that's experienced, provides fast, reliable service no matter the situation, and available 24/7.
Exactly. I'm Kelsey Lomsdahl, owner of Aggressive Towing and Recovery, family owned with 15 years of experience. A name you can trust. You may not need us right now, but when you do, there's only one name you need to know: Aggressive Towing and Recovery. Online at aggressivetow.com.
Are you looking for the best plumbing and heating experience in town? Look no further than Legacy. Our team of expert technicians are dedicated to providing you with top-notch service, whether you need routine maintenance or emergency repairs. And with this summer just around the corner, now is the perfect time to take advantage of our $79 AC check-in service. We'll make sure your system is running smoothly so you can stay cool all summer long. So why wait? Contact Legacy today to experience the best plumbing and heating experience in town.
Pucklet Chevrolet Buick GMC in Valley City makes it easy to find your next Chevrolet Buick GMC or pre-owned vehicle by offering a great selection at our best prices possible.
And welcome back to WDAY Weather and Ag in Focus. Thank you for joining us. And that was the busiest break I have had in this show's history because I am getting bushel guesses like crazy. I got a list. I am writing them down so I don't lose anybody. This is going great. So keep them rolling. What you think our bushels are going to be on our yield at the end of season across our 20 acres. That'll be great.
Hey, Bridgette, did anybody guess higher than what Justin is? Because that seems to be the highest one so far.
No, he's not the highest one so far. I got another one in already at 77.
Holy cow.
So, hey, go big or go home, boys. Here we are.
That would be
This is what we're doing. Okay. So keep them coming. I'm going to keep up with the list. We continue to have those. Again, I'm Bridgette Readel, Ag Director, and Chief Meteorologist Dean Wysocki, Meteorologist Justin Storm. And now we get to roll into our guest for today. And she is one of my favorite people with a heart of gold and a great big smile. Her name is VB Thomas. VB is from South Dakota. She was last year's Country Woman of the Year at DakotaFest. And VB, I introduced Thomas Angus Ranch as your ranch. Did I get that right? Did I say it right?
Well, we say Thomas Ranch.
Okay.
Thomas Ranch, actually, we mostly have Angus, but we also have Charolais, Red Angus, and Sem-Angus, as well as horses and pheasants.
Okay, we're gonna have a lot of questions to ask.
Thomas Ranch.
Thomas Ranch, and I'm looking forward to even the pheasant ranching part of this discussion. So, tell us a little bit about you and the ranch and your history.
Well, I married into the Thomas Ranch back in 1985. Troy was ranching here with his folks. We went to high school together, but we didn't date in high school. So we got married in 1985 and ranched here with his folks. And then many of you will remember what the 80s were like. It was kind of tough times. In 1989, Troy and I moved down to Cimarron, Kansas, where he managed a purebred Charolais operation. And I ended up going back to nursing school. I was an LPN prior to being married to Troy. And when we moved down there, I went back to school and got my RN degree. Then in 94, we moved back here to South Dakota and began ranching with his folks. And now we are in our about 15th year of like buying the ranch from Troy's folks. They still live here at the ranch. Troy's dad is 82 and he still does all our farming, planting, which we have all the corn in. I hear you guys talking about all the soybean stuff. And we didn't put any soybeans in this year. We've got some winter wheat, spring wheat, corn. We haven't planted sunflowers yet. And then we'll plant a lot of like forage sorghums and strips for hunting, like that.
Gotcha.
And that's our planting. That's our farming side of it. We're not real big farmers.
And VB, you said you used to be a registered nurse. What do you find harder work, ranching or when you were a nurse?
Oh wow, what a question. Harder physically, of course, would be ranching. When I retired from nursing 21 years ago, I really, really missed the people. I missed working with people, taking care of people, and the people that I worked with is totally different. When you went to work with a lot of people every day and then you ranch, even like, for instance, during COVID, nothing changed here at the ranch. We worked every day. And everyone that works here with us, we all eat over together at our sale barn. So we cook every day for all the employees. And during COVID, there was really nothing different for us. Life kind of stayed the same. But as far as physical, ranching would be much more demanding.
So, VB, when you look at all of the things that you do, I don't think it's hard for anyone to guess how you got nominated as Country Woman of the Year. So, just you are so active in so many different things around your community and with your family. It's just tremendous. And so, if you haven't heard it officially, just a big congratulations to you for doing that and all the things you do in your community. I know you guys are very, very active down there, and thank you for that. So, open-ended question. Anything you want to share, you go right ahead, or else we're just going to keep drilling you away with all sorts of things.
Ready, set, go.
Okay, we got it then. So, tell us a little bit about what's the choice in having the Angus and the Charolais? Are you looking for specific characteristics in each of the breed and why you're doing that? Or tell me more about what your operation looks like beef-wise.
Sure. So when Troy and I got married, Thomas's actually had Semitoles. They were some of the first people in the United States to bring Semitoles into the States. And that's what we had a lot of those when I married into the family. Well, then it got to be where you could hardly give a Semitole bull away in this part of the world, because that's what we do. We sell bulls. We're seed stock producers. So we have an annual bull sale. So we sold a lot of those Semitoles. And then it was shortly after that when Troy and I moved down to Kansas, where he managed this purebred Charolais operation. They had 1,000 purebred Charolais. They had a ranch in Oklahoma. They had the main ranch in Kansas and a ranch in Colorado. And Troy would travel back and forth to those a lot, managing that. And Thomas's had some Charolais then. And we show Charolais, and on the Charolais level, we have been very blessed and fortunate. We've had numerous, I won't even try to count them. I should have done that. That should have been homework. I should have had done ahead of time. But we've had numerous national champion Charolais bulls as well as heifers over the years since the 80s. Well, when we moved back, then we had the opportunity to buy some Angus cows. So we got that Angus herd. And then we also bought some red Angus cow herds. And the reason for that is because, for a while there, people got too much black, I guess that's how I'll say that, in their herds. And they were looking for different crossbreeds because the crossbred cattle, are more that hybrid vigor. And that's why we have the different breeds. So people have options. Now today we are breeding on right now. We'll have about 400 Angus cows. And then we only have about 60 Charolais and 60 red Angus cows that we'll be breeding on. Right now we're breeding heifers. And actually we took pairs to the pastures yesterday, but we won't turn bulls out with the older cows for another week or two. Mm-hmm. And then in the fall, we will calve about 120 cows, but the majority of our cattle now are Angus based.
Excellent. Okay, we are visiting with VB Thomas. She is with Thomas Ranch in South Dakota. She's also the DakotaFest Country Woman of the Year for 2022. We are at the bottom of the hour at 1:30. When we come back, VB, I want to ask a little bit about beef promotion because May is Beef Month, and you do some tremendous things to promote beef, especially with athletes in the state of South Dakota. And we'll be back right after this.
Hey everyone, John Adams here. I hope you'll join me on WDAY Radio for my new talk show, Talk of the Town with John Adams. Every Wednesday from 11 to noon, we'll talk about issues that affect us all in the Fargo-Moorhead community. We'll talk taxes, the diversion, places to go and things to do, and of course, bison and Viking football. We'll talk about issues that affect everyone in this great community that we call home. That's Talk of the Town with John Adams, Wednesdays at 11 on WDAY Radio.
Kindred State Bank and Insurance Agency would like to say congratulations to the graduating seniors of 2023. They salute each student that has had the dedication and spirit to meet the challenge and succeed. Wishing you the best of luck as you journey into the future. It's bright, and you better grab some shades. May your futures be as bright as it is today and always. Congratulations from your friends at Kindred State Bank and Insurance Agency. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender. Online at kindredstatebank.com.
Introducing Ambassador Cleaning, your one-stop shop for all your office cleaning needs. Their team of experts will leave your business sparkling clean and smelling fresh. With over 22 years of experience, they guarantee satisfaction with every job, commercial or industrial. No job is too small. Don't waste time cleaning the office yourself. Leave it to the professionals at Ambassador Cleaning to make your space enjoyable and germ-free. Experience the difference. Contact them today at ambassadorcleaning.com. Ambassador Cleaning, one call cleans it all.
Spring is here and the scenery while driving down the road will soon be filled with farm machinery planting this year's crop. Hi, this is Bethany Rentz, crop insurance agent with IRE Insurance. As fieldwork begins, we want to remind you to take extra caution when approaching large, slow-moving machinery traveling down the road. A successful crop year is one that is accident-free. IRE Insurance offers all lines of insurance, and we would love the opportunity to visit with you. For our contact information, please visit our website at ireins.com.
You're protected and appreciated at IRE.
IRE Insurance is an equal opportunity provider.
I can't wait for what's next, even with higher stroke risk due to atrial fibrillation and irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Eliquis, apixaban tablets, reduces stroke risk. It's the #1 cardiologist-prescribed blood thinner.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without talking to your doctor, as this may increase your risk of stroke. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or have antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or unusual bruising, or if you have tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. It may increase your bleeding risk if you take medicines such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the lingo.
GOAT, G-O-A-T, acronym, stands for Greatest of All Time. As in, spaghetti sandwiches for dinner? They're my fave. Dad, you're the GOAT.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same. Visit adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Cass County Farm Bureau reminds farmers and ranchers before planters hit the field and begin your field work, make sure all equipment is in top operating condition. And be sure to put safety first. A safe planting season comes down to patience, preparation, and precautions. Cass County Farm Bureau is helping keep everyone in communities safe during the planting season and always supporting spring farm safety. On the air because they care. And wishing you a safe and productive season or your friends at the Cass County Farm Bureau.
Let the Goose River Bank become your community bank. They believe a strong bank builds strong communities and would be proud to be your bank.
This afternoon, we're speaking with VB Thompson. That's the DakotaFest Country Woman of the Year. And if you'd like to join in on our conversation, give us a phone call. 701-293-9000 is the Red Wing Shoes phone line. And VB, I was wondering if you could tell me a little bit more about the Build a Base program for beef to athletes.
Sure. Yeah, that program started down here at the South Dakota Beef Industry. It's probably been about 5 or 6 years ago now when Susie Geppert was our executive director. She came up with this program, and, you know, it's based on sound nutrition, which that you can't, that's just a good nutrition program, but it also ties together with training for the athletes, a whole training program for coaches and the athletes. And when it started down here, we started it off in high schools with just the football program. And the beauty of the program was at the end of the football games, the team would invite the opposing team. They'd have supper together and their families. And one of the things that we found with it was because it laid out the whole meal plan, it actually taught moms who maybe didn't know how to cook. You know, a lot of the moms nowadays work and they order food out or they go out and eat. And so it taught these moms good meat cuts, how to go to the grocery store, and the stores were behind it too. And so those moms would then buy that food and learn how to cook, which proved to be a great thing during COVID. Now the program here in South Dakota has expanded into all sports, and it's at the college level, and it's actually at the national level. The IFL, Indoor Football League, is part of our program, and we have 2 Olympic athletes who travel around and educate people about this program. And it's just been a great way to get youth, instead of drinking all these pre-made protein drinks, now they're eating actual beef sticks.
So, Phoebe, cool. Does your ranch, do you supply any of the beef for this program? Is it all locally supplied?
You know, we do not. We recently just went with a company down in Chamberlain. This young lady, she opened a butcher market down there, and she's doing all of the meat, all the jerky for the Build Your Base program. We have our own little label, and they ship it all over the United States. But no, personally, Thomas Ranch doesn't provide any of it. But we've talked about where people might be able to bring their meat down there. But we personally haven't been involved in that.
Okay. So with all your years with beef promotion and so forth, are there some other standout campaigns that have been a part of what you've done, whether it's with Thomas Ranch or just even with the national committees and so forth that you've served on?
Well, I was a federation director for South Dakota at the national level, and I served as a committee co-chairman for 4 years for the Consumer Trust Committee. And so that was very exciting, you know, because that got to work with building programs to help people understand about meat and the value of that. And one of the projects that we helped fund that was near and dear to my heart was with Farmers Union. They had a school science-based program that took teachers actually to farms and ranches and educated those teachers, many from cities who had never set foot on a farm. So that was one of my favorite ones at the national level.
I think that'd be awesome. We've always said we want to take a field trip.
We basically are with Here We Grow, because
We
Dean and I
kind of
have
are.
never farmed before, so this is all brand new to us. But that's a really fun thing. VB, earlier when you were talking about what you got over there on the ranch, you had mentioned something about pheasants. Are those wild pheasants, or are you raising them? And if you are, why?
See, all the above. So again, back when we moved back from Kansas in '94, things still weren't always great, and we were always looking for ways to diversify and, to bring some extra income into the ranch. So we started pheasant hunting. And so here we are still doing it today. We have preserve land. And so I'm not sure how it is up there in North Dakota, but here, if you have a preserve, you have to release 100%. So if we kill 1,000 birds, we have to release 1,000 birds. So that's the rule down here in South Dakota. So you could come here to hunt and buy like a 1-day preserve license or a 2 or a 3, or you could that's to hunt just on a preserve, and that would be less expensive than buying an out-of-state license. Now, when we started, we had incubators and we hatched our own eggs, and yes, and then we got a little bit lazy, and then we bought day-old chicks, and we did that for several years, and then we had a predator get into our flight pen, and we knew we had a predator, but we had no idea how many birds it had killed, and it had killed probably about 700 birds. So that
Holy
was a
cow.
cost.
Wow.
Yeah, we had
Did you ever-
1,500 birds in there. So then we just started buying adult birds, and then we buy hens as well. And our ranch runs along a creek. And so in the winter, that's where we feed the cows. And so there's overflow from artesian wells and cattle feed. So the pheasants just kind of hang around all winter long and feed with the cattle.
Did you
So we
ever
have
figure out
wild
what that
and
predator
release.
was?
We think it was a mink. And the terrible thing about minks is they go in there, they kill the bird, and there's just one little tiny piece in the bird's brain that bird eats, and then it just leaves them. So it was awful.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds really
Minks are
bizarre.
vicious
Yeah.
on poultry.
Wow.
Yeah, because they'll get into a chicken house or something like that too,
Mhm.
and just be substantial damage.
Mhm.
Yeah. So a part of our project that we were talking about with our soybeans, VB, is we are currently raising 20 acres of soybeans. Our profit from them is going to be donated to the Great Plains Food Bank. What's your advice if we were young farmers starting out and next year we wanted to add like a beef animal? Should we? Are you thinking that's a way for us to get our foot in the door if we wanted to start out with a beef project on top of soybeans?
Yes, absolutely. Like a steer or two, right? Right? You could feed a steer, yeah, and then that meat could be donated to Feeding North Dakota. I'm guessing you have a Feeding North Dakota up there, right?
We have
Or
something
you
like
know
that.
what?
And
A
don't worry,
lot of
I'm
You're
putting this
already
cow
doing
at
it,
Dean
aren't
or
you,
these
Bridgette?
steers. No, I'm putting these steers at Dean's house, so I don't have to worry about feeding them. That's my plan.
He's already
Great.
got a cow.
The neighbors will love it.
Yeah. Well, a lot of, I don't know if you guys do it up there, but a lot of, and we haven't done this either, and we should, a lot of ranchers are like donating beef to their local schools so that the school kids actually have real beef and not
Yeah.
artificial whatever else. I don't know if they have programs like that up there, but that'd be something you could do with your steer also.
That we could, and there are. In fact, one of the local school districts just over the river to Minnesota has started doing that as well. Yes.
And
I
then,
like that
and
idea.
then plus, Bridgette, these two guys that don't have any agricultural background, then they could call themselves first generation ranchers.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah.
I'm liking this.
I like the way that sounds.
I know.
That's right. And go ahead, Dean, if you've got a question.
I was going to say, VB, you've done, I'm just reading an article here, and you wear many hats on the ranch. Everything from just running cattle for their annual sale, bookkeeping. Boy, there's nothing you don't do. What do you find the most rewarding?
Well, gosh, over the years, as you get older, like I don't do the things today that I used to do when I was 30 years younger than I am now. So a lot of those roles maybe I don't do anymore. Like, well, we're breeding cattle right now. And so I still help with that. I say every day I'm trying to get fired, but they don't fire me. I don't know. I could relate to you the conversation that we had as I was bringing the pickup and trailer in to the pasture yesterday, that I told my husband after 37 and a half years, I still don't understand your this sign language. And then I probably shouldn't say what he said to me. Yeah. And then these other two gentlemen that were there just stood there and they went, man, you backed that pickup up really good. And I'm like, So, you gotta like whatever you're doing on the ranch. And we have a young man that's working here right now. Him and his dad both work here. And this young man, he's going to be 21 next month, and he is very, very high functioning autistic. But I work with him quite a bit, and he has things that he doesn't like and things that he does like. And I'll just say to him, we're adults, and we don't always like what we have to do, but this is our job. And you're getting paid to do your job. So this is what we have to do. Even if we don't like it, sometimes when we're adults, we have to do things we don't like. I do things I don't like every day. But you just put on your big girl panties and get it done. And I can't really say that I don't like anything. That, I can't. Two falls ago when we were fall breeding, I was giving the shots to the cows, and my hands just simply won't work like they used to. I couldn't even squeeze the gun. I could not do that part. So I had to change jobs and run the chute. I could do that. But as we age, our bodies just don't work the same. And I think we need to think about that. And you don't when you're young. You don't think about those things. And I'm probably not as good with my in-laws as I should be. We need to be kind to everyone, and we all have different gifts.
And VB, you have a
there isn't
plentiful
any
amount
job.
of them. You have so many great gifts, and your gift of humor just showed in a great way. So we've got just one more minute, but VB, if folks would like to know more about you, or if there's any last moment, any things that you want to share in this last moment, why don't you please go ahead?
Oh, I don't know. Our daughter does our Facebook, Thomas Ranch Facebook page. Whenever I need anything, I just hey, can you put this on Facebook? I know I should know how, but I don't want to. So you do it. And I think, I don't know, my message is that we just all need to be kind and humble and gracious to one another.
That's great advice, isn't it?
That's wonderful. Best advice possible.
Right.
Thank you for joining us today, VB. You are a delight.
Yeah. And if you can't find a steer up there in North Dakota, I probably have one I can find for you down here.
I think you can. And I think you can also back the trailer up without hand signals to exactly where I need it. Go there. Folks, we're going to listen to the markets from American Ag Network, and we'll be back to wrap up with the forecast.
Rev up your engines for Track Talk with Jason Berg, the ultimate racing radio show every Monday night at 6:30 on WDAY Radio. From the hottest drivers, latest racing news and analysis to recaps of the best dirt track races in the region. All live from O'Kelly's Bar and Grill. If the dirt's flying, you can bet Jason Berg is covering it. Track Talk is brought to you in part by Brenco, Johnson's Auto Repair, North Dakota Retriever Club, Welton's Tire Service, and WDAY Radio.
Postal Family Federal Credit Union is taking time over the Memorial Day to remember, honor, and salute the service members who served our country and those who are still serving. This is the true meaning of Memorial Day. Some paid the ultimate sacrifice to keep us free. Please respect their sacrifice and do your part to honor them by respecting your fellow man. Have a fun and safe Memorial Day weekend from the entire team at Postal Family Federal Credit Union, proudly serving postal employees and their families since 1936.
Our nation's military members, protectors of our land, servants called to battle, fighting in the name of freedom. With strength and courage, honor and respect, you answered the call for our country. Hanson Runsvold Funeral Home wants to honor all veterans, those that gave their lives and those that are still with us. A heartfelt thanks and gratitude from all of us at Hanson Runsvold Funeral Home.
Golf just keeps getting better at the Meadows and Village Green with the weekday morning special beginning May 30th. Tee off before 11 a.m. any weekday and play 18 with cart for only $32. And the weekend twilight special begins June 2nd. Play any Friday, Saturday, or Sunday after 4:30 for only $24. Book tee times online at moorheadgolf.com. Weekdays tee off before 11 for the $32 special, and weekends tee off after 4:30 for the twilight special at the Meadows and Village Green golf courses in Moorhead.
Rich Rispa with American Ag Network here for this market update. We're chatting with Arlen Suderman, Chief Economist at StoneX. Arlen, it looks like we're getting some positive movement in grains today. Is this, we've got Memorial Day holiday weekend coming up here. Is this maybe just a little bit of position squaring before the holiday weekend and putting in some risk premium?
It certainly is. There's several factors coming together. First of all, there's a sense of optimism in Washington that we're close to a debt ceiling deal. So that allows grain and oilseed traders to focus, and commodity traders at large, to focus on the supply and demand fundamentals of their respective commodities. So we're seeing some general strength across the board in the commodities this morning, and that gives a boost. And then when you look specifically at the grain and oilseeds, coming on a 3-day holiday weekend, they're adding some weather risk to these markets. We've got very dry conditions right now in the spring wheat belt in Russia and Kazakhstan. We have problems in the U.S. plains that have been well documented, and the heavy rains there may actually reverse some of the drought problems but create additional problems. So we're adding some risk premium there. Then we look at corn and soybeans, and it's been very dry across the Midwest over the last 30 days, and that dryness is expected to continue for the next 2 weeks, and putting some crops under stress early in the growing season. So traders, after they've been selling this market hard now, kind of covering some of those short positions and adding some risk premium just in case that risk intensifies over the weekend when the markets will be closed, but the headlines will continue.
Those have been comments by Arlen Suderman, Chief Economist at StoneX. Quick check on the markets here. Soybeans are leading the way up with corn not too far behind. Chicago, Minneapolis wheat are higher, while Kansas City is firm. For the American Ag Network, I'm Richard Ristvet.
All right, who's taking it, Stormy? You take it?
You taking it? You want it?
I saw you talking, but
You're more than welcome to
your
have
mic
it.
wasn't on. Welcome back to Weather and Ag. It's free for all Friday. Most of us are mentally on vacation. Some of us were mentally on vacation a little earlier this week than today.
You shouldn't talk about yourself like that.
Hey, the
truth, you're a gold star.
The truth hurts sometimes.
You're a gold star. Ooh, you're gonna suck up after all that.
Yeah, right.
You should have seen the comments I was sending them before the show started.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
I did.
Oh man. Well, I'll tell you what. We've got a few cumulus clouds popping up, and there's no rain in the forecast, but I wouldn't be totally surprised if we pop off an isolated storm towards evening. Again, it's about a 10% chance, but seeing these cumulus pop up indicates there's a lot of lift in the atmosphere, and that as we reach our high for the day, that could pop off an isolated storm this evening. But again, most areas not seeing a drop of rain, and that's going to be the case throughout most of the upcoming holiday weekend, with temperatures upper 80s, pretty close to 90 in many areas, and the nighttime lows only dropping off into the low 60s. Best chance of rain coming in here on Memorial Day. Looks like we might have some Sunday night, early Monday morning storms. We'll see a break and then another chance as we head into Memorial Day afternoon, evening. So 3/4 of the holiday looking absolutely great temperature-wise. Just a little bit on the windy side. But, hey, again, here's a fun little fact. So we are going to be 30 degrees warmer than some of the coastal areas in North and South Carolina. They've got a big storm down there. They're having record cold temperatures down there, and we're going to be anywhere between 20 and 30 degrees warmer here in the Northern Plains. Don't see that too often this time of the year. So,
no, you don't.
Yeah,
Wow.
count our lucky stars for some decent weather that, again, falls on the weekend. It's back-to-back weekends of really nice weather.
Nice.
I know.
Hey, can I ask you guys what you went with our prediction here? I went 65. Bridgette, you said 42?
I did.
For bushels? Yeah, I went 50.
Yep.
50.
Oh, you went 50. All right, I'm just going to do this and hit the post button. And our giveaway contest is now up on the Weather and Ag in Focus Facebook page. For those watching, I'll just pull it up here real quick for you. This is what you got to look for. Weather and Ag in Focus right there on Facebook. Give it a little scroll down. And if you can guess down in the comments correctly, you'll win yourself a rain gauge when we get our harvest in at the end of the year.
That is awesome. Hey, speaking of all the things that are going on right now, again, we've talked about the fact it's Memorial Day, and I made sure to wear my red, white, and blue cow t-shirt today, support local beef. It's also got a flag on here for Ag Swag. But I have a couple of things on Memorial Day I think it's appropriate that we share. 1971 was when Memorial Day became a national holiday, and that was due to an act of Congress. Prior to that, Decoration Day included all fallen soldiers after World War I, not just those from Civil War. By World War II, Memorial Day became the term that was much more common. And again, if you're going to be out and celebrating, also make sure you have appropriate flag etiquette. A flag flies at my house every day. I have to upgrade the fact that there's not a light shining on it every time it's up, because otherwise I should be taking it down at sunset. But volunteers often are going to be out putting flags on graves for our veterans. There are services on Monday held in a number of locations, especially with our American Legions. Make sure to take advantage of those. If you have an old or tattered flag, you can have that recycled appropriately. And in fact, there is a pickup disposal bin, you might say, at Fleet Farm if you want to drop that off inside their front entrance. So if you have an older flag that you want to make sure is taken care of respectfully at its end of times, you can go ahead and drop that off in that bin, and that'll be disposed of in the right way.
Yeah.
So just a few things for Memorial Day.
Right. And remember, when you're out, I mean, a lot, there's grilling and, boating. And when you're out, maybe toast one for all of our fallen soldiers. That's what this whole weekend is about, because they gave their lives so we could have our freedom. So that's a huge, huge part.
Do you guys, either of you, have folks that were veterans in your family?
I do. My dad.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Uncle and grandfather.
Yeah. World War II. He was flew in the B-52, and he was the bombardier.
Oh, that's awesome.
Interesting stories.
Yeah. My grandfather
really
was
are.
a helicopter gunner.
In which war?
I think it was Vietnam.
Gotcha. I had grandpa in the Korean War, and I have a grandpa-in-law that was a Browning automatic rifle, a BAR man in the Pacific during World War II. So lots of things there going on for veterans in our families, and lots of respect to those gentlemen.
Absolutely.
And the women who served. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Do we have time to touch on a couple topics here, guys?
We do, if
We
you'd
got
like.
about a minute
Shoot 'em
to
off.
kill.
Run with it, Justin.
You want me to run with it? I thought you had it all pulled up.
All right.
Let's
Okay.
talk about
Real
the
quick.
old,
How about ag students? They have. I can't read this. I don't have my cheaters on.
That's down in Sioux Falls.
arthritis and the eyes are gone.
This is in Sioux Falls. They have what's called the CTE Academy, and they have agriculture in the classroom there. Over Easter weekend, a local hog farmer from Pipestone, Minnesota, brought in a pregnant sow. She farrowed 14 piglets, and the kids were all there to help. That was hands-on agriculture, if you've ever seen it. So as she gave birth, they were able to clean up the piglets, get them under heat lamps, and then also make sure that she was nursing. And so students who have an interest in production agriculture and just even any aspect of it are learning more and more through those types of academies. And again, this one was in Sioux Falls.
Now that's something you won't forget if you're a kid.
Nope.
That's something you always remember. That's fantastic.
Most likely won't forget.
Wow. Well, that about does it for this this version of Weather and Ag in Focus. I want to thank everybody for joining us, and hope everybody has a safe Memorial Day weekend. Enjoy the hot weather, and again, don't forget what this weekend is truly all about. The Jay Thomas Show is coming up next with, I believe he has a guest host today, doesn't he? Is it Chris Berg?
Yeah, I think it's Jason Berg.
Or Jason Berg, sorry. Jason Berg. Yeah. That's
Track
Chris
Talk.
Berg. He's in California. Jason Berg with Track Talk is coming up next.
AM 970 and FM 93.1, WDAY, Fargo, Moorhead, West Fargo.